Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors. How's it going, GI TV? My name is Tim, and this Mamma Jamma is the Echo 1 Ohio Ordnance M1918 AEG. This thing is huge and heavy. Let's go over the externals to start. The gun features a mostly aluminum and steel construction. The key thing that Echo 1 wanted me to point out to you is that the carry handle is made of steel, so it's very durable and it's going to last a long time. The stock, the handguard, and the carry handle surround is all imitation wood, so it's made out of polymer. The rest of the gun is pretty much made out of aluminum and steel. Now, as a result, because this is very lightweight plastic and the barrel is very long and heavy and features a full metal bipod, this gun is actually really front heavy. So this really isn't for the faint at heart. You're going to have to be kind of a big guy to wield this around the airsoft field. But you know what? This isn't really made for your everyday airsofter, and not a lot of everyday airsofters are going to be using this bad boy. If you're a reenactor or maybe a cosplayer that's really into World War II stuff, this is a great replica for you, and it's also very affordable in comparison to other BAR guns that have been available on the airsoft market. Other external features include the flip-up rear sight. I've already mentioned the bipod. This thing actually folds away when it's not in use. And it also extends. It looks like you can undo this little screw and extend the feet on the bipod. The battery houses, or I'm sorry, the stock houses the battery, so you lift this up and you have to undo the back plate, it looks like, to put the battery into the stock. Looks like there's lots of room inside this stock to fit a pretty large battery. We'll have to test that out a little bit later on. The left side of the gun features the charging handle that pulls back like this. It doesn't actually open up the ejection port. You have to open that up by hand to access the hop up, but it is kind of cool that you can do this, and it does make a pretty neat noise. The fire selector is here on the left hand side. This button right here in the magazine well in the trigger well is what releases the magazine. So God, this thing's really heavy. So you just kind of push on this thing here, and boom, you can pull your magazine out. So this magazine is actually kind of interesting. It looks like Echo 1 have created this thing very similarly to how they created the Barrett magazine years ago. Basically, they've taken the M16 VN 20 round magazine and wrapped a shell around it so that it looks more like the BAR mag. So it is a high cap. It holds about 190 rounds. You can see that you put the BBs in here, close the port up, wind the wheel at the bottom, and then bam, you're good to go once you load this thing up. Speaking of loading this thing up, let's head over to the shooting range, put some .20 gram BBs in it, and see how hard it shoots. Alright, so here we are back at our little shooting range in the studio. We have the Echo 1 Ohio Ordnance M1918 in hand. Chronographing this thing may be a little bit difficult because it only shoots in full auto. There's no semi. Obviously, we're talking about an automatic rifle here. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so this gun shoots in the neighborhood of about 400 FPS or so. I'm using .20 gram BBs, and I have an 11.1 volt li-poly battery installed in the stock here. The gun is a little noisy. Obviously, we kind of have to expect that from Echo 1. However, the trigger response is actually really nice on this gun, and that's probably attributed to the fact that this thing has a pre-installed MOSFET and low resistance wiring. Additionally, this is one of the higher dollar Echo 1s that you're going to find on the market, so they probably used much higher quality internal parts than they normally do. Let's just give it one more rip on full auto. Oh man, I'm out of BBs. Never mind, let's wrap up this video with the outro. Okay, so it looks like the Echo 1 Ohio Ordnance M1918 shoots in the neighborhood of 400 feet per second with a .20 gram BB. The neat thing about the internals of this gun is that it features a gearbox very similar to Echo 1's 240 Bravo, meaning it has a quick change spring system, so you can actually modify this gun's FPS, so it doesn't have to be 400. If you want to, you can change this thing down to a lower spring to shoot 350 to get it to indoor field play, or you can leave it at 400 or maybe even upgrade it beyond that if you want to do that. Also internally featured on this thing is a 5.09 millimeter barrel, basically the same barrel that's on like an M16. So the barrel doesn't actually go all the way to the end here, but it's just right for this gearbox, and you'll get plenty of range and accuracy out of it anyway. This thing is for sale on our website for $395. That is roughly $400 cheaper than any other BAR replica that I know of. The last one that I recall seeing in our store was made by VFC, and that one was $1,200 bucks. So like I said, if you're the reenactor reenactor or World War II cosplayer, this is probably the M1918 that you're going to want to get to fill your costume, because it is very affordable and it is relatively lightweight because it does have some aluminum components in addition to the plastic stock handguard and carry handle surround. That's going to do it for the Echo One Ohio Ordnance M1918. Did I mention this thing is officially licensed by Ohio Ordnance? Looks really good to have the real gun logos on the gun. My name is Tim. Thanks for watching GITV. Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors.